Hello, welcome, dear listeners. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Speak and Flow podcast, where we dive into unique strategies to help you and your team achieve maximum potential and flow, even during high stakes situations. Today, I have an amazing leader, father, founder, Josh Kitching. He is the owner of Bay Area Piping and Equipment. They are a piping and prefab company in the Bay Area. They have an amazing team, family owned, family run of experts. Hi, Josh. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am so glad we can jump into the conversation today about how communication, pitching, building strategic relationships has supported you at Bay Area Piping and Equipment. But before we dive into that, I would love for you to share with the audience what you do, what makes you passionate about what you do.
Absolutely. So we are a local 38 signatory contractor here in San Francisco. We are a family owned and operated company. As you mentioned, we do piping and plumbing prefabrication here in our shop. That we sell to other customers. So customers that either don't have a fabrication shop or don't have a steady flow of work for fabrication and can't keep a crew maintained, or even larger companies that either cannot maintain the pace that they need, or that need to work with a small business to accomplish their goals and the goals for the projects.
I mean, that's rare, especially in the Bay Area. Are you one of the few only ones that?
We're the only ones in San Francisco that we know about that build fabrication and sell it to other people.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And you have some exciting projects coming up?
We do. So we're just wrapping up, we believe, the last phase at the biosolids project. We've done work for all 5 mechanical contractors that have been on site, have taken some kind of prefabrication from us. And we just received last week our first fabrication request from one of the mechanical contractors at the UCSF Parnassus project, which is exciting. It's for pipe sleeves, which is one of the easier parts of what we do for fabrication, but it's how we started at the biosolids. We built pipe sleeves for contractors for 6 months straight to get so they understood what we could do and get comfortable with working with us with an easy product. And then it rolled into 2 years of fabrication. So we're very excited about starting all over again at the next project.
Doing it all over again, and I'm excited for you, and I know you deeply. I know you well. We've been working together for a while, and so I am just wishing you and your team much success. I know that you are just rock stars and experts at what you do, and so anybody that is needing the piping and prefab, just reach out to Josh. But this company you built, it's successful. It hasn't always been like that. So I'm curious with regard to communication, what that was like for you as you continue to develop in your journey. Like, let's start from the way back before you and I worked together.
Oh, absolutely. So I would say 2 ways. One, a family-owned business is hard internally, and then you have customers and out of network, right? That you're dealing with people that are relying on you to be the subject matter expert. So my background, I grew up in the Bay Area. I was in 4-H 9 years, right? And 4-H, you learn from 9 years old. You're giving presentations. You're doing everything in front of people and speaking in front of people. And it's leadership conferences. You do all these things. And as members in 4-H, if you want to, you can become officers, and you actually get up to, if you're the president, you're running the entire meeting when the monthly meeting happens. So that's all the things I did growing up and was comfortable standing in front of people. Joined the military for a little while, became a squad leader, ran, some awesome people all around the world, and didn't have any problem speaking in front of them or working in front of them, and then got out and got into the trades with a Helmets to Hard Hats program that they have to help veterans get into the trades. Went through the apprenticeship, became a job site foreman, standing and talking safety meetings, briefings, what we're doing for the day. Still, it was easy. I loved it. No problem. Got higher up, started running some larger projects, and the same thing. I'd be standing in front of 25, 30 people from my crew saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to execute. This is what we do. And it was great. We had great people, great crews. And then comes barrier pipe and equipment, which does brings different stresses to the world. My boss told me when I became a foreman, don't worry. Everything that you think is going to be your stress isn't. And you get hit with this guy doesn't get along with this guy, or this guy doesn't, whatever. It's not what you think it is. And it's the same when you get into business for yourself. You have new obstacles. Not how am I going to get the work when we're good, we've proven that we're good and work comes in. It's, how do you keep the lights on? How do you do, different difficulties that don't even cross your mind when you don't know.
Right.
And that stress, I think, just starts building up inside of people. And it did inside of me. To where I almost started questioning myself. Am I really the guy to do this?
Right.
So it did become harder to talk about at times. And that's when I reached out to Melinda to start working to get better. We always got to learn. And that's what we're doing. We've been working together we started on an individual, some classes or some working through that really slowed things down for me and just remind you that you do know what needs to happen. And it gives you get a different approach and different ideas. And I think it's just part of continuing to grow and learn as a leader that helps.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there when things are going wrong, things are not what they seem, like you said, and we can easily go down the path of, can I do this? And question ourselves on all the doubt. And then that impacts our communication. Because when we start to question ourselves, did it impact the way you're communicating?
Yes, it absolutely did. It didn't hit me hard until I was invited to speak in a Zoom, right?
Yeah.
We weren't meeting in person. We went to speak in a Zoom, and it was the first, and it partially with what you learn too, working with Linda is the preparation. I wasn't prepared properly, not for the subject that we were talking about, but I had never presented in Zoom. I had never been made a presenter. So they're like, the first person went through their stuff and they're like, all right, we're going to have Josh talk about this. And it was great. And they clicked it over to me, and all 20 something people that were in there had cameras off, right? It was just, they were background noise, which I'm, guilty of as well when you're in something that you just need to get done. But then everything else was silent. There were no microphones on. I was sitting in my room, and the only thing that I could hear was my heartbeat going in my ears. It was just fumbling through, or at least felt like I was fumbling through what had to happen. And I was like, what is going on? This is not me. So it is just that level of stress, I think, that can push you there. And you don't have control of that. It just hits you. And all of a sudden you're like, ooh, okay, how do I not let that hit me again?
Yeah.
And those are all things that you can work through that are huge and easy. Once you do them, once you get them pointed out or learn different techniques to prepare for that stuff, it's amazing.
So what are the 3 favorite techniques that you've learned since working?
We learn to take a breath. Yeah, will you take a breath with me? Or if you take a breath in the mirror with yourself and just get back to center. Know, hey, I'm here. I can do this. Know that you work on that, that you are good enough, right? You are good enough. And then the the key, the one I love is, I don't know what I'm going to say, but it's going to be great. And that's like an amazing little thing to kick you in and get you inspired right before you go up and take that microphone.
Yeah. Did you do that today?
I did it all. I might drive in today. Yeah, and laughing when I said it, because of the classes we started, like I said, we started with the individual, and then there's also classes with other people that are in all types of backgrounds for companies, and there's from different, what I want to say, like I'm calling it trades from the construction, but different jobs, right? It's not just, hey, this isn't a room full of CEOs, this isn't a peer group, this is people that just feel that they can improve on their speaking, and the friendships that come out of that, and everything with these groups and the support, and I know I'll get out of here and I'll text our group tonight and be like, I did the podcast, right? Because it was a goal we set last year. So it's just the whole group background, people that are there cheering for you, and it makes a difference.
Yeah.
So,
oh, thank you.
Positives. So, yeah.
Beginning with the pause, right? Yeah, recentering. What I heard you say is that was really important for you to recenter, just get grounded into ourselves, because sometimes our minds are all over the place. And so that one breath to recenter. And then once you could do that, then you're like, remind ourselves, I am good enough. I am here for a reason. I do matter. And then as you're speaking, remind yourself also, whatever I say is going to be great. Like believing that you're good enough and whatever you say is going to be great and just right, just the way it is right now. And the more you do that, the more you're going to elevate yourself versus take yourself down, just like what we said earlier about the self-doubt, going down that rabbit hole. And so continuing to see the good, continuing to see opportunities, continuing to set intention that opportunities are coming. And so I'm curious, how have all of these techniques, strategies, and new mindsets supported you and Bay Area Pipe and Equipment?
So with all the classes and talking and slowing down, I learned that you don't have to fill the room with noise. We can go into a meeting and wait for whoever we're meeting with to start with questions, or to start with what drew them to spend time with us.
Yes.
Right? So, but they've already invested in, hey, I'm going to set aside 30 minutes. Why did they set that 30 minutes? And let them do some of the talking first.
Right. Versus like, okay, here's everything that we could do.
Correct. Yeah.
Ask questions.
Ask questions and let them even just talk. Let them start the meeting instead of like I have to come in here. I have to say, this is what we can do. This is why you need to use us. We're the best. It doesn't, that they've already set that time. And that's something that Melinda and I worked on. We worked on together, was getting that prepped and saying, hey, just rein it back and let the conversation flow. Speak with that flow back and forth with somebody. It's not always a sales pitch that you have to just put out there.
Yeah. Wonderful. Anything else? That's good. That led to some good client relationships and opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the follow-up, when I got a lot better at following up after those meetings and checking in, where before it was like, they didn't call me, or they didn't call us back, that they weren't interested, but everybody is just as busy as we are, right? I think we're all running around, we're all trying to get things done. And that follow-up phone call is a big deal.
What I've noticed lately is setting an intention on my follow-up calls. And it's interesting because I set an intention that I'm going to follow up to continue the relationship. And when there's momentum, when there's action, the universe, God, whatever you want to believe in, actually starts to bring back things. You start to, and it comes back in different places, actually, what I found. So open yourself to that opportunity, do your follow-ups, and then just notice other opportunities potentially coming in. It may not be the person responding to you, but there's other things that tend to happen to me. See if that happens for you, Josh.
Oh, absolutely.
So take a time, like a set focused time to follow up with people, and then sit back, and then opportunities, other places come in. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. I love
it. So I'm glad you're getting better at the follow-up. Like, what was the difference between before following up and now?
It was just the pace. When we were running, like I said, if I sent something out and we didn't get a response, I was like, oh, they must not have been interested, saying that self-doubt, we weren't good enough. They don't want to
Got
work with
it.
us. And then,
Got
okay, that's it. If they need us, they'll reach out to us.
Oh, yeah. No.
And that's not right. And that's not, and we know better than that, but
Right.
with the chaos of, we went
Right.
moving spaces, trying to get the next phase, trying to get that next growth, stay in front.
Right.
Didn't
Right.
take the time to slow down and be like, hold on, let's keep that, like you said, let's keep that relationship, even if they don't use us, let's keep the relationship and let them know that we're here. And that's
Yes,
what we're doing a lot better now.
exactly. Oh, that's great. That's fabulous. Well, I love what you do and I love your crew. Tell the audience where they could find you, how they could reach out.
Our website, www.sfbape.com. You can schedule a meeting. My email and contact are right on the website. You can come by the shop. We're down on Underwood in the Bayview. Feel free to stop by.
Yeah.
We post weekly on LinkedIn, Instagram. Please follow us. Jump on and comment. We're working hard to get that up to a good standard, and we have some great people that are helping us. So
That's fabulous. And also, would you like to share with and we'll put your contact into the show notes. Would you like to share with the audience one final takeaway? What is the golden takeaway that you'd like the audience to remember?
golden takeaway.
Yeah. What
I
would
do-
like?
I think it has to do with slowing down. Remember to slow down. I don't slow down and work less, but you slow down and do a better quality, I think, of what you're doing. And that will be noticed by people. Prove over and over that you can and that you are supposed to be where you should. So
Yeah, I love that. Slowing down. What is my intention for this? And when I'm taking the action, slowing down, having a high quality, and then following up.
and follow up. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate your insights, and I wish you continued success. And I trust that whoever's listening to this, that they reach out to you and your team for their piping and fabrication needs. And thank you again. It was very fun.
That was way easier than I thought. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Josh. Of course. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.